My Christian spirituality and my connection to Christ, this is something that is still very important to me. I keep returning back to the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes are 8 proverb-like sayings, and each of the 8 has 2 phrases. Now, the first phrase always describes some sort of life condition. The second phrase is then the result of that condition lived out in a blessed way. Blessed are those who know they need God, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to them. Blessed are those who grieve, for they will be comforted. Blessed are those who are humble, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who are hungry and thirsty for justice, for they will be filled. Blessed are those who show mercy, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are those whose hearts are pure, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who suffer for doing what is right, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to them. There's no schmaltz here. The Beatitudes are not like a Hallmark greeting card. The Beatitudes are not Band-Aids. They're not meant to settle or soothe or lull us asleep. The Beatitudes are not some to-do list. Nothing here smacks of a should, a must, an ought. These are not about shame. No shame allowed here. They are not passive. They are really about justice. They're not platitudes. The Beatitudes are not some pie in the sky. So the Beatitudes are not those kind of things. So then what are they?
Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Yeah. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Baby, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Woke up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melodies pure and true, saying, this is my
So then what are they? The Beatitudes are about a whole, centered, and healthy spiritual life. That's what they are about. The Beatitudes are about blessings. And I know that sounds like, well, you're restating the obvious, but maybe it's not. In fact, maybe it's something we forget over and over again. The first words that Jesus commissions to those who are following him right here in the Gospel of Matthew are blessings. Jesus starts and begins with blessings. He doesn't begin with judgment. He begins with blessings. He doesn't begin with terms and conditions. He begins with blessings. He doesn't begin with penance. or doctrine, he begins with blessings. He doesn't begin with altar calls. He begins with blessings. Jesus starts his ministry by telling his followers who they already are and who they can be, and that is blessed, fortunate, favored, loved. Why? Because they are near and dear to God's heart. Whoever Jesus' first followers, whatever they go on to then accomplish, whatever they become of in their life, is to be the outgrowth of that life, that foundation. Their spiritual identities are already in them without any condition or measure. They are freely blessed, and so they can now go and bless others. So what does this really mean? It means we're not God's 9-to-5 employees. We're not just these servants of a monarch. We're friends. We don't endeavor justice and love and mercy and walk humbly so we earn God's blessings. We do justice and love and mercy and walk humbly because we already are blessed, and that blessing is coming out of us. It's who we already are in our Christian spiritual lives. Our lives are blessed, and then they're to live out a blessing to others. It's to make elevating and encouraging others our most visible foundational gift that we can give to those around us. I mean, what would happen to our hearts? What would happen to us here at Spero Day? What would happen to all of our circles of influence if we just said, you know what, because I'm blessed, I'm going to lift up those around me. You know, I'm going to accept that goodness and encouragement and then offer it to others. Now, one thing true about me is when people bless me or offer that kind of goodness to me, it can make me feel a bit awkward. I mean, none of us ever wants to appear presumptuous or arrogant, but sometimes we mix a little bad theology when we can't receive it, right? I mean, shouldn't my spiritual faith and posture be a little self-deprecating? Shouldn't I deflect or cower just a bit more? And then on the giving end, for me, sometimes my fears can be even similar. You know, I can think of my inadequacies. I mean, really, me? Who am I to offer or presume I could offer somebody much? And you know, either one of those fears, either receiving that or giving that, when we can just begin to focus on, you know, God's love and generosity, it can shift things in us. That our identity is an identity of blessing, and can we accept that?
You are my safe place from things that I can't face. When it all gets too much for me and I'm lost in my anxiety, and if my heart aches, you breathe with me at my pace. When it all gets on top of me, you are my gravity. Thank you for laughing my crazy. Thank you for hiding here with me. Thank you for making me face this world again and again. You are my safe place. You forgive all my mistakes. When no one is listening, you hear me when I don't say a thing. You never judge me, make me laugh when I'm crying.
The Beatitudes, what they represent is a It's an entire reorder. It's an entire reversal that really shifts the whole thing on its head. It shifts on its head hierarchies and rules and priorities, in ways that it just flips them in ways that the mourners are the ones who receive comfort. The starving are the ones who sit at laden tables. Those who live meekly, they inherit everything. The peacemakers are God's children, and the victims of persecution, they end up with rewards. And so it's important not to read these stunning reversals through, again, a scrim of shame. Shame won't get us anywhere good if that's how we view these. These reversals should provoke us. They should awaken us because they reveal essentials of a God I want to believe in. What Jesus bears witness to in the Beatitudes is God's unwavering proximity to pain and to sorrow and to loss, that God is always near that, and he's near the lowly and the oppressed and the broken. God isn't obsessed with the shiny or the impressive. God isn't too busy with the messy or the chaotic or the unruly or the unattractive. And this is so important for us to remember, because when my own life is going through something tough, I can go, where are you, God? Have you abandoned me? And the Beatitudes have a way of assuring me that, oh, God is close and near in the shadows, David. God is very attentive when you are in the fire. God is always close when you're destitute or anguished or lost and confused. And God just has this way through the days, through the weeks, through the months, through the years of meeting us there and not being absent. And that our hunger and thirst carries us through the dark and to that blessing. And so the Beatitudes challenge me to look carefully at my own life and to consider where and how, my privilege sometimes keeps me from seeking God. When things are going spectacularly well, when I'm not feeling much agony over things, I kind of lack a thirst. I mean, truth about me, I can go days without thinking about God, and embarrassingly easily. And I'm the minister. God isn't always this 24/7 on my radar. Sometimes I'm focusing on my comforts or where I'm discomforted. Sometimes I have an easy access to the quick blessings of life that then my spiritual life is not deep in the depths or at the forefront of my life. But yet, when I'm utterly lost and wholly lost, whether that's physical or spiritual, it's then that blessing of God that sustains me. I think maybe what Jesus is saying in the Beatitudes is that I have something to learn about when it comes to my privileged life and circumstances. There is something here that they can teach me. There is something to grasp about the beauty and the glory and the freedom of this Christian spiritual life. And that can actually be my starting place, that the power of plenty at times can blind me from my own need or own emptiness. That humility can go, when I'm feeling superior to others, they have something to teach me. God is in the business of reversing just about everything our culture can value. The hierarchies are toppled. The priorities it makes can be reordered. And am I ready for that? Am I willing? Am I waking up and paying attention to that? Do I understand my location? Do I see God's great reversal right there? And the Beatitudes, they are actions lived out. And we're going to miss it if we just focus on Jesus' words and we don't notice or awaken to his actions. Every word that Jesus is teaching here, pronouncing here, he showed in his actions to the meek, to the hungry, to the impoverished, to the oppressed. He goes to them and has actions towards them before he even speaks these things. He feeds the hungry. He cares for the poor. He demands justice for the oppressed in his actions. Jesus spends every waking moment he has on this earth alleviating suffering. He never valorizes misery for its own sake. He doesn't tell the hungry to tighten up their belts. He doesn't ignore the cruelty of the religious elite and the politically powerful. He doesn't turn a blind eye to the incarcerated, the colonized, the ostracized, the demonized. He doesn't leave the sick to die, and he doesn't abandon the dead in their graves. And he never ever tells anyone, listen, just grin it and bear it, because heaven's reprieve is coming in the by and by. He never does that, which is to say that Jesus is action. He doesn't simply speak blessing, he lives it, he embodies it, he incarnates it through his words, through his hands, through his feet, through his life. He brings about the very blessing that he's talking about, insisting that pain in and of itself is neither holy nor redemptive in Christian spirituality. Jesus always works to bring healing and abundance and liberation and joy to every life he crosses path with. This is the kind of Christian spirituality I want to be part of, holding that blessing and sharing that. The Beatitudes remind us that blessing and justice, these two things are linked, and to pursue one is to pursue the other. So blessed are you and you and you. So now we go with what we are, who we are, what we can give away. We walk knowing that through God's love, compassion, and mercy, and kindness, and goodness, we are blessed, and we turn around and give that to lift up this world. So may we rejoice in that. May you rejoice in that. May you know that the one who blesses you is near to you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
Walk with me, I'll walk with you. Down these troubled roads we've stumbled into. We're all in this thing together, we're gonna make it through. If you walk with me, I'll walk with you. Be there for me, I'll be there for you. When we're running out of hope, when we don't know what to do, like a candle in the darkness, shining bright and true. Be there for me. I'll be there for you.